I-24 during the flooding while driving home from work. He was one of many who evacuated their cars. Many say they weren't sure what to do when the water kept rising. Local 3's Catherine Vaughn has the story and what you can do if you ever find yourself in a situation like this.
Many were forced to abandon their cars, and while this one made it back safe and sound, others weren't so lucky. These incidents have caused people to wonder, what are you supposed to do in an emergency evacuation? One driver, Michael Sally, was headed down I-24 Tuesday evening when suddenly water started rising outside his truck doors at an alarming rate.
It was about, an inch or two of water, and then within 15 minutes, it rose another foot, maybe 18 inches.
He was left with no choice but to evacuate. Sally rolled down his window, crawled out, and joined other drivers who police had instructed to evacuate.
People were holding each other's children. Everybody was kind of like coming together. We're all in this together, trying to help each other out.
The group then waded through the water and climbed uphill until they reached higher ground.
There was 12 to 15 people that had gathered around on the bridge that we all were like, we don't know what to do. We just have our cars stuck. Are they going to get towed? We didn't know.
Sally says in the moments of panic, some drivers had mistakenly made the wrong choice, choosing to escape by opening their car doors, causing water to rush inside. That's why Chattanooga's fire department wants to remind you of what you should do. They tell us, first, unbuckle your seatbelt and climb out the window. They recommend having a window punch in the car, which can be used in emergency situations to cut through a seatbelt and shatter glass.
You just take it and you put it on the window, the corner of the window, and you just push it.
Next, get to higher ground. If you're unable to reach it, stand on the roof of your car and wait for first responders to reach you. CFD tells us this is something they saw on Tuesday. In total, they rescued 35 people from vehicles after receiving dozens of emergency calls. Remember, when water rises, get out fast and get up high. Your car can be replaced, but you can't. For Local 3 News, I'm Catherine Vaughn.
We want to check in with Chief Meteorologist David Carnes in the Storm Alert Center. So many stories have been told about this, and when it was happening, on Tuesday evening, David, we knew something bad was going on. We knew people were leaving their cars, but when we see those stories up close, it's just remarkable.
I mean, you don't think about that on the interstate, for crying out loud. So yeah, just horrible. Fortunately, nothing like that in the offing. We did have some heavy rain in northern Ray County. We'll take a look at that. Let's look at our Doug Yates towing and recovery camera right now, and you can see the mountain in the background. Pretty clear skies over Chattanooga. No issues on 24 today as folks are heading home and getting ready for their Big Friday tomorrow. Not much in the way of rain today. Had a couple of sprinkles around Chattanooga. The heaviest rain, even a flood advisory in effect until 8 p.m. for parts of Ray County. And that rain is beginning to fade away, but it has produced anywhere from an inch all the way up to more than 2 inches of rain. Where that rain was falling really, really hard. It says for the past 3 hours, all of that fell really in about a 1 to 1.5 hour time period. Right now it's 87 in Chattanooga. We had a high of 91 degrees, 90 in Lafayette, 90 degrees in Cleveland, but here comes the humidity roaring in. It feels like 97 in Dalton, feels like 97 in Cleveland, 99 in Blue Ridge, made it to 91 for our high, 90 the normal high for this time of the year. So temperatures actually about where they should be for a change. Our sky watchers checking in, some cool, 83 East Brainerd, 82 Signal Mountain, some hot, North Chattanooga, 90, 91 in Trenton, 92 in Rossville, and 92 in 10 Mile. Game is going on right now, doubleheader to make up for lost time for the Lookouts. It is going to be a hot, muggy one, but they should finally get a game in. We'll have your complete forecast coming up in just a minute.
Thanks, David. A fugitive wanted in Polk County was arrested for several charges, including criminal attempt to commit murder. The sheriff's office asked Hamilton County deputies to assist in serving the warrant to Harley Golden on Monday. They say it was necessary to get other agencies involved because Golden is believed to be connected to the gang Aryan Brotherhood and said he would, quote, shoot it out with law enforcement. Golden was arrested at a home on Stansbury Mountain Road in Turtletown. Chattanooga firefighters responded to an automotive paint facility this morning where a small hazardous material spill was reported. The fire department says nitric acid was spilled inside Nippon Paint Automotive Americas on Southern Street in East Chattanooga. Employees evacuated the building as a precaution. No one was injured during or after the spill. The CDC says exposure to the corrosive acid can result in severe burns, irritation, respiratory problems, and even death. A tree fell onto a van this morning, sending 2 people to the hospital. Chattanooga police, firefighters, and paramedics went to Bonnie Oaks Drive to help get the 2 occupants out of the vehicle. Hamilton County EMS took them to the hospital for further evaluation. We don't know the identities or conditions of those 2. New traffic patterns have resulted in a permanent speed limit reduction on Cherokee Boulevard between Market and the Stringers Ridge Tunnel. The new limit has been set at 35 miles an hour. The City of Chattanooga's Transportation Division made that decision. It was previously 45 miles an hour. Workers began resurfacing work along Cherokee Boulevard and Dayton Boulevard late last month. A plan to build an asphalt plant in the area did not get much traction. Find out why Soddy Daisy commissioners rejected the proposal when Local 3 News at 6 returns. Officials and residents of Soddy Daisy met to determine the future of a proposed asphalt plant. Commissioners determined Jamie Thomas, the man who proposed the plant, was not able to prove to the board there was a need for a new asphalt plant. Commissioners rejected his proposal. He'll be able to appeal their decision, but as of now, commissioners are not considering his proposal. Well, soon you'll be able to fly nonstop from the scenic city to the windy city. American Airlines is launching 2 daily flights to Chicago's O'Hare Airport starting October 6th. The Chattanooga Airport says with these flights, you'll now have even more options to try deep dish pizza, see the Chicago skyline, and visit Chicago's famous bean. We've been talking about flooding and all of its impacts. Well, it's not the only reason trees fall in severe weather. We found out more information from an expert about the science behind trees falling in wet soil and how it affects healthy trees.
Mic check. I don't have my IFBN. Mic check. I don't know.
They can hear you, you're fine.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
This is Local 3 News at 6.
Heavy rainfall has caused healthy trees to simply fall over. Audrey Shirley says the tree itself is not always the issue. Audrey.
Cindy, that's right. Although it is common for dead trees to fall over during storms, this was not the case for a healthy water oak tree that fell in Crescent Park near Tunnel Boulevard and Ridgeside.
Trees are kind of like dominoes, so when you have one of them fail in an area, you can have others fall over as well in subsequent years of flooding. So whenever you have these saturated soils or the amount of rainfall that we've had recently, it will make the soil fail. So it's not necessarily a fault of the tree. The roots are not necessarily what failed.
Moore says although the roots from this healthy and structural tree were only less than 2 feet deep, tree roots grow wider instead of deeper, which is why the roots were not the issue. When water oak trees are exposed to high levels of water, the roots will not have enough oxygen, making the roots more shallow in flood-prone areas, causing them to uproot from soil failure.
If you have sustained water pooling on your property, it's probably a bottom land. It's collecting a lot of water. Maybe the soil isn't as good, so it's made up mostly of clay, so it's retaining that water. The water is not draining.
Taller trees can also fail from saturated soils due to their high canopies that carry more weight. There are different factors that have to be addressed to determine if a tree is healthy or not.
So when you're assessing the health of a tree, you're looking for the more leaves, the better. When you're looking at the structure of a tree, you're looking at the site, how much wind that the tree is experiencing, how long their branches are, and their propensity to lose branches given their species and location.
Moore suggests to create a drainage plan and install French drains if you do notice pooling around a tree in your yard to help mitigate flooding. However, it is important to place the French drains as far away from the trunk as possible to avoid cutting its roots. This option is better than adding more soil around the tree, which could make the issue worse.
If you would like to know more additional ways to reduce trees from uprooting, click the story in our app. Reporting for Local 3 News, I'm Audrey Shirley.